It looks like LaMelo Ball's on the path to becoming a superstar, but Lonzo, he's been struggling with injuries, and LiAngelo hasn't been able to make it into the league. So I made Lonzo Steph Curry with a 40-inch vertical. He's got ridiculous stats. LiAngelo, I gave him the stats of a Reggie Miller player that I downloaded. He's got all the three-point shooting stuff because he was knocked down in some of those Summer League games. So let's see how these guys can do. In season number 1, only LaMelo was named to the All-NBA third team. He was also an All-Defensive. But we saw the Bulls make it into the playoffs as a 6th seed, and the Hornets were 7th there in the play-in tournament. And Lonzo, he was an absolute beast in the simulation, and so was LaMelo. LiAngelo averaged over 20 points per game and shot the 3-ball really well. So he had a great season for us. So let's go ahead and get into it. We got to see if the Hornets can even make it into the NBA playoffs. That's the first thing. But they do. They're the 7th seed, as the Chicago Bulls are the 6th seed, taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. So if the Bulls can win their first round matchup and the Hornets can win as well, then we'll see the matchup in round number 2. So hopefully we can see that go down. The Hornets are going to have a pretty tough matchup, though, with the Philadelphia 76ers. Same goes for the Bulls. That Cavs team is pretty tough, especially in 2K. But they're hanging in there. They're all tied up at 2-2. They're actually going to take a 3-2 lead. And the Bulls are going to win in 6. The Hornets lose in 5. But hey, Lonzo was able to advance. LiAngelo and LaMelo both had good playoffs. LiAngelo was hooping over 25 points per game. And LaMelo averaged around 25 as well. As for Lonzo, he's moving on. He's going to be taking on the Philadelphia 76ers, who his brothers LiAngelo and LaMelo just lost to. I don't know if Chicago is going to be able to take them down, but they just upset Cleveland in round number 1, and they're going to take game 1 of this series. Philly bounces back, takes game 2. They also take game 3, but the Bulls are hanging in there. It's all tied up at 2 apiece. Let's hop into the Simcast for game 5. In game number 5, we've got a close one. Chicago's down by 1. Kobe White gets absolutely stuffed there. The Bulls had a chance to go ahead and take the lead, but now the Philadelphia 76ers can get a little bit of a bigger cushion. James Harden trying to do something. There you go. He passes it to the corner, gives it to Embiid. That was a tough 3 that Embiid just took there. Let's see if we can take advantage of his miss. Andre Drummond's going to pass it to Lonzo. Come on, Lonzo. Cook, pull up 3. Oh my goodness. He was in his bag. He hit that to put Chicago up by 2 points. What a shot from Lonzo. Big shot there. Harden looking for an answer, going to go down to Joel Embiid, who's defended by Andre Drummond. Embiid, he just uses a series of moves and fakes to get to the bucket. Go ahead and score there on Andre Drummond. Now the game is tied up once again. Let's see if Lonzo can get another one. Pull up mid-range. He's just too quick. He's going to knock that one down. 118 to 116. Bulls once again take the lead. Lonzo with some clutch time heroics for Chicago. James Harden is going to get the ball. Harden hasn't really done anything with it so far. He's going to take a spin move into a 3. Yeah, that was a tough shot. Andre Drummond grabs the rebound. Now we've got a chance to get a 4 or 5 point lead. DeMar DeRozan has it. We've seen DeMar DeRozan have some clutch moments, but he's going to give it to Lonzo, the star of this team. Lonzo swings it to Levine, who misses it, but Andre Drummond, one of the best rebounders in the league, gets that board, and DeMar DeRozan, he's going to get to the basket and dunk it home. A big bucket there from DeMar to put us up by 4. And the Sixers, they really need a bucket. James Harden going to give it to Joel Embiid. Joel in the post working on Drummond. He gives him a couple fakes, puts up the layup, misses, and Andre Drummond another rebound. He's been grabbing a lot of boards for us. Lonzo just going to pull it. He's got a quick trigger, and he missed that one. The Chicago Bulls still up 4. Philadelphia looking for a bucket after the Lonzo miss. Tobias Harris has it, going to give it to PJ Tucker. Tucker over to Harden. Harden down to Embiid for the easy dunk. Embiid was in the perfect spot there. But now the CPU is being stupid, and they're going to send us to the free throw line where Lonzo misses. He should be knocking down those free throws, man. But Lonzo misses. He does make the second. So maybe it wasn't a bad decision by the Sixers to foul, because now a 3 could tie up the game. James Harden has it. Harden, terrible pass. He's going to turn it over. It was deflected by Levine, And now Lonzo's going to the free throw line. He's not going to miss those again. This game is over. We win. And that means we will take a 3-2 lead in the series. Lonzo kind of had a rough game, but he had some clutch moments, and he's been playing really well throughout the playoffs. We just need one more, and we'll move on to the conference finals. But unfortunately, we lose in Game 6. Lonzo, 7 turnovers, and Embiid gave us 47. All right, time for Game 7 here. And unfortunately, we end up losing. And Lonzo, this was a stinker. 4 for 18. Oh my goodness, he sold in this one. So we're going to lose in Game 7. And after that loss, Lonzo decided to take his talents to Toronto, where he'll be playing alongside Pascal and Scotty Barnes. And of course, LaMelo and LiAngelo are still in Charlotte. I made their contracts match up. I put LiAngelo on the Hornets because I felt like it made sense since we saw LiAngelo play some summer league ball for them. Anyways, no all-NBA or all-defensive teams for any of the Ball brothers. Kind of surprising there. The Hornets are the 6th seed while the Raptors are in the play-in. A good season for LaMelo. LiAngelo had pretty similar numbers to last season. And Lonzo, he was hooping in Toronto. So he was a little bit down on the points per game, but that's all right. I mean, he still was hooping. Lonzo's got 2 chances to make it into the playoffs, but unfortunately, he didn't capitalize. He did not end up making it in. Surprising to see that, considering that Lonzo Ball is such a high overall, but he didn't have too crazy of games in the play-in tournament. So now it's time to move on to LaMelo and LiAngelo, who are here in the NBA playoffs. They've got a tough first round matchup, the Boston Celtics. And unfortunately, that matchup was just too much for them to handle. They ended up losing in a gentleman's sweep. Now, LaMelo will get better, and Brandon Miller should get better as well. So I think that this team has potential to improve. As for the Raptors, I'm not really sure why Lonzo joined that team. And yeah, we see Brandon Miller go up to an 84 in the offseason, and the Raptors, they're just kind of trash, man. Like I said, don't really know what Lonzo was thinking. LaMelo was All-NBA first team this season, and Lonzo was All-NBA third. Good stuff from both of those guys. And the Raptors did end up making it into the playoffs, so did the Hornets. But the earliest we could see them face off is in the conference finals. So we have to see both these squads make it pretty far if we want to see a Ball brothers face off. And unfortunately, it was a disappointing playoffs for the Raptors, but the Hornets were actually able to pull off a comeback and win in Game 7 against the Knicks, who have Cade and Jason Tatum. Some crazy pickups by them. But let's get to round 2. The Charlotte Hornets, they're here. They're taking on the 8-seeded Pacers, who just upset the 1-seeded Atlanta Hawks, winning in 4 games. And we're getting cooked here. We're down 3-0. We're going to take a game, but we end up losing in 5. I don't know what that Pacers team was doing. They must have been coasting the whole regular season. But in the offseason, the Hornets got a lot better, saw a lot of progression from Brandon Miller. And the Raptors, they kind of just stayed the same. I don't know what Lonzo's doing there, man, but we'll see. LaMelo ended up making it on the All-NBA second team. He continues to hoop. And there's New York Cade. I don't know why the Pistons let go of him so early in his career. Doesn't really make any sense. But the Raptors, they didn't make it even into the play-in. And as for LiAngelo and LaMelo, they're in the play-in tournament. I had higher expectations for Jello and Melo because they have a really solid squad. They actually made some pickups. They got like DeMar DeRozan. I don't know what's going on there, but they were able to make it into the playoffs. And unfortunately, we've got to take on that Knicks team that has Cade and Tatum, man. This is going to be a difficult matchup, and we're the 8th seed going into this one. So maybe we could somehow pull off a miracle. Series is tied up at 1 apiece. We're actually up 2-1. It goes to a Game 5 here with the series tied up. They're going to take a 3-2 lead, and we're going to force 7. I mean, okay, let's see. Maybe we can pull this off. And in Game 7, yeah, oh my goodness, we got cooked. We lost by over 30 points in Game 7. It seems like the Knicks were just playing with us throughout that series, but LaMelo was really hooping in the playoffs, and LiAngelo kind of had a down year in terms of scoring this season, so we'll see if he can bounce back next year. This team did pick up some older vets like Chris Middleton and DeMar DeRozan, so I'm not sure. We might get hit with some regression from those guys this offseason. We'll have to see how it goes. Chris Middleton actually stays the same, and I guess DeMar left. And as for the Raptors, they're pretty much the same squad. We'll see if maybe Lonzo can turn up and try and carry them. No players on All-NBA first team, but Lonzo did end up making it to the second team. He had one of the best seasons he's had in this sim, and LaMelo made it onto All-NBA third team. We've seen him on quite a few All-NBA teams, just waiting for LiAngelo to make it. The Raptors sucked, but the Hornets were hooping. They were the #1 seed this year after being in the play-in last year, so we'll see if they can make the most of it. Round number 1, they're taking on the Detroit Pistons, who don't have Cade, and we're going to go ahead and win in a sweep. All right, we're moving on to round number 2, where we take on the Orlando Magic. Hopefully this can be another easy series win and we just make it to the conference finals. Okay, boom, we're here. Now this Pacers team, they ended up beating us. They were the 8th seed. They were having that crazy run, so we'll see if we can beat them this time. They take game 1. Series is tied up at 1 apiece. We're up 2-1 in the series. Can we make the finals? It's all tied up at 2-2. Let's go ahead and simcast for this game 5. And in game 5, man, we needed this one. The Pacers are going to come out on top. Unfortunate to see that, but hopefully we can take game 6 and force 7, and we do take game 6. So we've just got to lock in for this game 7, man. Lonzo and LiAngelo came to play in the big game. They've just got to come to play for one more so we can make it to the finals. And they do exactly that. We're going to make it to the finals where we're taking on the Portland Trail Blazers led by Scoot Henderson. And we could see LiAngelo and LaMelo win an NBA championship. So let's get to it. I'm very excited. This Portland Trail Blazers team is tough though, so the Hornets are definitely going to have a challenge set up for this series. Let's see. Game 1's going to go to the Blazers. Game 2 to the Hornets. Game 3 to the Blazers. Game 4 to the Hornets. Series all tied up at 2 apiece, but in Game 5, we get absolutely cooked, man. They won by almost 40 against us. We can't do that in these big games. Let's take Game 6, though. Come on, we got to lock in. There we go. We're going to force 7. This Game 7 is going to be huge. Championship on the line for LiAngelo and for LaMelo. And LiAngelo's been turning it up in the playoffs. He had a bounce back season. Let's see if they can get the job done in this final game. And in game 7, it was a blowout. I mean, oh my goodness. The Portland Trail Blazers absolutely destroyed us. What a disappointing end to what was such a great season from the team. I'm really sad to see how it panned out, but in the offseason, there was something crazy that happened. Lonzo took his talents to the Houston Rockets. Hopefully, he'll have better luck in Houston than he did in Toronto. And the Hornets, they've still got Brandon Miller, they've still got Lonzo, still got LiAngelo, so we'll see how this year goes for them, but I'm hoping Lonzo has a chance to contend. LaMelo and Brandon Miller were named to All-NBA this season for the Charlotte Hornets. LaMelo having a career-type year. And as for Lonzo Ball, his Rockets were the first seed. The Hornets were also the first seed. So could we see them meet up in the finals? The teams actually had the exact same record, which is kind of crazy. But let's see. Can we actually have them match up in the NBA Finals? Both the Hornets and the Rockets make pretty easy work of their first round matchups, and the same thing pretty much went for round number 2. Both of these teams are really good. They had great regular seasons, so they're right here in the conference finals. They've just got to get through this last opponent, and we can have a Ball brothers face-off in the NBA Finals. And for the Hornets, they've got the Sixers, who have Devin Booker and Joel Embiid. Bradley Beal's also there, so that's a pretty tough squad. And the Rockets, they're just going to make easy work of the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Hornets, they've got a tougher series ahead of them. They will take the pivotal Game 5 against the Philadelphia 76ers, meaning that they take a 3-2 lead in the series, and they're one game away from the finals. But in Game 6, the Sixers come right back. Devin Booker, Joel Embiid, Bradley Beal, that's a tough big three, and they fought back. In Game 7, the Charlotte Hornets ended up losing in the final seconds, but when I hopped into the sim, Lonzo and LiAngelo weren't in there, so I don't really know what was going on there. Ultimately, they did end up losing, so hopefully Lonzo can hold it down in the NBA Finals. and get revenge against the team that just took down both of his brothers in Game 7. LaMelo came to play, though. 48 points is crazy. And LiAngelo, he had a great playoff. So let's get to it. Can Lonzo Ball take down this Philadelphia 76ers team? I don't think that Lonzo has as much help, but we'll see. Maybe he can get the job done. He's been doing it so far. Sixers are up 2-1, but the Rockets will bounce back, tying up the series at 2 apiece. And in Game 5, the Houston Rockets will win. There we go, Lonzo. Lonzo with 36 points in this one. And he has a chance to win the NBA Finals in Game 6. And he does exactly that. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe. Have a great day, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.